Howdy again, guys. Today we're going to be talking about perceptions and actions being central to cognition and to understanding, to comprehension. We know that simulations help us understand or comprehend the meaning of verbally described events. Simulations help us understand pictures, ideas that helps us to formulate, comprehend the meaning of things. So think about this. Gestures are really simulated actions that help us to understand verbally described events. In fact, a lot of people have told me that I wouldn't be able to talk if I wasn't able to use my hands. So gestures for me are a very important part of verbal discourse. So understand that mentally simulating actions during comprehension can be used as a basis. It is our gestures. We know that the use of gestures tends to be situational. Face-to-face conversations are more likely to elicit gestures than, say, a telephone conversation. Both are more likely to elicit gestures than a monologue. So gestures reduces, if you will, the cognitive load placed on us. Gestures helps increase our understanding of detail. In fact, we understand more, we can recollect and recall more detail if there are gestures included. Guys, our use of gestures develop in infancy, really, someplace around 10 to 12 months. And those gestures are really pointing, just pointing. They tend to point, infants at this time will point to a single object of interest. This indicates that infants are aware of what other people are paying attention to, and they want to help point to you or help point you to something that's of interest to them. Pre-verbal kiddos use pointing for a lot of different reasons: responding to or answering a question, sharing interests and knowledge with others. So if you think about it, there's really three main functions to an infant's pointing. First is imperative. They use it to obtain something. It's the speech equivalent of "give me that." So they just point to what they want. Then declarative. These gestures develop a little bit later, and there's two kinds of declarative pointing. First is to direct an adult's attention to an object or to an event to indicate its existence. It's kind of the speech equivalent of "look at that." The second one is pointing that is informative. The child is providing an adult with information. It's the idea of, "Baby, what do you want? Baby, what do you need?" And it's pointing to show or to give information. It's important to remember that gestures, number one, are universal. They're in all cultures, and it aids in language development for the child. In fact, gestures are a language of their own in childhood, and then they become the bridge between action and words as a child matures and gains more linguistic ability. Start thinking about your own use of gestures, and we'll talk more next time.